Welcome back, Go Gunners family. Why Arsenal are closer than ever, but one mental barrier still separates them from greatness. Introduction. This is why people will click. Arsenal Football Club are not failing, but they are also not finished. That uncomfortable truth is what many fans don't want to hear, and exactly why this conversation needs to happen now. Because when you actually strip away the noise, the banter, the rival trolling, and the emotional reactions, one thing becomes very clear. Arsenal are one of the best-run football teams in Europe right now, but they are still learning how to win when it matters most. And that difference, that tiny margin, is the difference between nearly men and champions. This article is not transfer gossip. It is not clickbait rumors. It is a deep, updated reality check on Arsenal Football Club, where they are, how they got here, and what still needs to change. If you are a real Arsenal fan, this will hit you hard. The Arteta era, from chaos to control. Let's be honest, when Mikel Arteta took over Arsenal, the club was broken, not just tactically, mentally. Players lacked confidence, the squad had no identity, standards were low, accountability was missing, Arsenal were drifting. What Arteta did first was not tactics, it was culture reset. Discipline became non-negotiable, effort became mandatory, excuses were eliminated. That alone changed Arsenal's direction. Today, Arsenal are structurally solid, press-resistant, organized in possession, difficult to beat. This is not luck, this is coaching. Why Arsenal are now feared again? Opposition teams no longer see Arsenal as soft. They see intensity, aggression, tactical preparation. Away teams come to the Emirates and defend deep. That tells you everything. Arsenal dominate territory. They dominate possession. They dominate chances. But domination alone does not guarantee trophies. And that's the next problem. The biggest lie Arsenal fans believe. The lie is simple. We just need time. Time helps, but time alone does not win titles. What wins titles is decision-making under pressure. In the biggest moments, semifinals, title run-ins, must-win games, Arsenal still hesitate. Not because they are bad, but because they are still learning how to be ruthless. Why Arsenal play beautiful football but still suffer? Arsenal's football is among the best in England. Quick passing, positional rotations, technical dominance. But beautiful football creates a trap. Sometimes you need ugly wins, scrappy goals, defensive cruelty. Champions don't ask, how did we win? They ask, did we win? This is the final evolution Arsenal must make. The mentality gap. This is the real issue. Let's compare Arsenal to serial winners. Winning teams kill games early, control emotions, punish mistakes instantly. Arsenal sometimes overplay, delay shots, allow opponents back into games. That is not a skill issue. That is a mindset issue. And mindset is the hardest thing to fix. Why young Arsenal is both a blessing and a curse. Arsenal's squad is young, hungry, talented. That's good. But youth also means emotional swings, inconsistency, learning through pain. You don't buy experience. You earn it, usually by losing first. Arsenal are in that phase. Pain today, power tomorrow. The Emirates has changed, and that matters. One thing fans underestimate is atmosphere. The Emirates used to be quiet, nervous, anxious. Now, it's alive. Players feel it. Opponents feel it. This is part of Arsenal's rise, and it will matter in tight moments. Why this season feels different, even without a trophy yet? Here's the truth many rivals won't admit. Arsenal are not declining. They are loading. Every season under Arteta, standards rise, squad intelligence improves, tactical maturity grows. The wins are coming, but not by magic, by patience plus ruthlessness. What Arsenal must do next? No transfers talk. Forget names. Arsenal must learn to kill games, accept ugly wins, embrace pressure, stop fearing mistakes. When that happens, trophies will follow. Final message to Arsenal fans. Perfect video ending. If you are tired of banter, stay patient. If you are angry, good. That means you care. But understand this. Arsenal are not failing. They are forging. And forged steel takes heat. Why Arsenal are learning the hard way, and why that's a good thing. The moments that define a season, not the table. Most fans judge a season by league position, trophies, headlines.
But elite coaches judge seasons by moments. Moments when the team panics, the team hesitates, the team loses control. For Arsenal, these moments are becoming less frequent, but they still exist. And that's progress, even if it doesn't feel like it emotionally. Why Arsenal sometimes switch off. This is uncomfortable to admit. Arsenal don't usually lose because they're outplayed. They lose because focus drops, game management disappears, small mistakes snowball. That's not tactical failure. That's mental fatigue. When expectations rise, pressure increases, and Arsenal are still adjusting to being expected to win. That pressure is new. Pressure changes everything. Chasing top 4 is pressure. Chasing titles is heavier pressure. When Arsenal were underdogs, freedom existed. Mistakes were forgiven. Now, every mistake is amplified. Every dropped point feels cataclysmic. That mental weight affects decision-making, shooting confidence, defensive composure. This is why champions are rare. The difference between good and relentless. Arsenal are good, but champions are relentless. Relentless teams smell weakness, attack it repeatedly, don't show mercy. Arsenal sometimes show mercy, without meaning to. They control games but don't always finish them emotionally. That instinct comes from scars, and scars are earned. Why Arteta keeps talking about non-negotiables? Fans hear it and get tired, but there's a reason. Non-negotiables mean you don't drop standards when tired, you don't relax when leading, you don't lose discipline under pressure. Arteta is not obsessed with control. He is obsessed with habit formation, because habits decide matches when thinking stops. The role of leadership, on and off the ball. Leadership isn't shouting, it's slowing the game, speeding it up, choosing when to suffer. Arsenal are still building leaders in moments, not just names. This is why Arteta trusts certain players repeatedly, not because they're perfect, but because they stay calm when chaos arrives. Why setbacks are part of Arsenal's destiny. Every great team loses before it wins. Klopp's Liverpool lost finals. Guardiola's City collapsed in Europe. Even Wenger's Invincibles had heartbreak. Failure is not proof of weakness, it's proof of arrival. Arsenal are now losing at a level where it hurts, because expectations are real again. That's growth. The fan factor. Arsenal support is back. This matters more than people admit. The Emirates now pushes the team, demands effort, punishes complacency. That energy creates pressure, but also belief. Players feel watched, but they also feel supported. This combination produces champions when handled correctly. Why Arsenal no longer panic in bad moments? Old Arsenal collapsed. New Arsenal resists. Even when losing, shape remains, belief remains, structure remains. That's coaching. That's maturity. The collapse days are gone. The most important question Arsenal must answer. Not, can we play well? But, can we suffer and still win? Because finals are suffering. Title run-ins are suffering. Knockout football is suffering. This is Arsenal's final test. What success actually looks like for Arsenal right now. Not perfection, progress. Better decisions, stronger reactions, faster recoveries. If Arsenal improve those by just 10%, trophies arrive. That's how fine the margins are. Message to Arsenal content creators, like you. Stop chasing rumors. Stop recycling headlines. Fans want understanding, not noise. This kind of content builds loyalty, creates debate, earns subscribers, because it respects intelligence. Perfect video ending. Use this word for word if you want. Arsenal are not broken. They are being tested, and teams that survive the test don't just win trophies, they dominate eras. The final psychological jump from contenders to champions. Why Arsenal are now judged like a giant again. There is a clear sign that Arsenal are back at the top table. They are no longer judged kindly. Opposition fans don't say, Arsenal played well. They say, Arsenal should have won. That change in language is massive. It means expectations have returned, fear has returned, respect has returned. And with respect comes pressure. This is the price of relevance. The comparison trap, and why it's unfair. Arsenal are constantly compared to serial winners, fully mature squads, peak versions of rivals. But here's the truth. Those teams you admire, they failed first, repeatedly. What Arsenal are experiencing now is not weakness. It's alignment. Everything is moving in the right direction at once. That's when pressure peaks. Why near misses are more valuable than easy wins. Easy wins teach nothing. Near misses teach everything. Emotional control, tactical adjustment, mental recovery. When Arsenal lose merrily, they don't collapse the next week. They respond. That response is championship DNA forming. Arteta's biggest achievement that no one talks about. It's not formations, it's belief. Players now expect to control games, compete everywhere, win big matches. That belief used to be missing. Now, it's permanent. And belief, once established, is dangerous. Why Arsenal are now a problem for every rival. No team enjoys playing Arsenal, not because Arsenal are perfect, but because they press intelligently, keep the ball, force mistakes, punish lapses. Rivals must be mentally switched on for 90 minutes. That's exhausting. The killer instinct question. Again, let's be honest. This is the final hurdle. Arsenal must learn when to stop entertaining, start eliminating. Great teams don't seek approval. They seek results. Arteta knows this, and he's pushing the squad towards it. Why the next step can't be rushed. You can't buy calm, authority, experience. You earn them. Trying to rush greatness destroys it. Arsenal are doing this the right way. Slowly, painfully, correctly. The role of pain in Arsenal's story. Every great Arsenal era had pain. Near misses, criticism, doubt. This generation is no different. Pain is not a warning sign. It's a qualification process. What happens when Arsenal finally click?